global transformation and the rollout of new infrastructure. I'm aware that there is a change of power, change of management, change of empire going on at the moment. That is what we're living in. So filming this is, where are we? This is the 14th of May 2025. And global transformation and the rollout of new infrastructure on a planetary scale. So I am aware that there is a change of management happening on the planet just now that involves multiple entities, beings, but really the change of management is a change of management in empire. Empire being exactly what that sounds like, a large controlling body. Empire. Empires, what do empires do? Well, they create and act and live empire. What does nature do? Nature isn't an empire. Nature is a queen kingdom. Nature is a nature. It's not an empire. They're different. They are different. And so, yeah, just want to share this and share that I'm aware that there's a change of management going on a global level in regard to empire, which means there is a change. There's a change coming. There's quite a lot of changes coming, but there's a change in technology coming. There's a change in infrastructure. So societal infrastructure on a global level is coming. And it arrives through the change of empire. This particular version of it that I'm talking about. Nature is going to hold all of this. Nature does what it always does, and it holds everything. It holds empire. Empire doesn't hold nature. Nature holds empire because nature knows it's part of the evolutionary process and it accepts that. Nature's always like the centre and the heart and soul of things. Nature is the one that is holding all of this together. It'll always be like that. Empire likes to try and conquer nature, and it's impossible to do that. You can convince yourself, and you can even convince loads of other people that it's happening and that you've done it, but in reality nature's still holding everything together. It's an illusion to think that you can conquer nature. Not possible. Nature is so loving, so benevolent, so awesome and so large that it can hold all of it. All the distortion, all the balance, all the love, all the beauty, all the harmony, all the corruption, all the disease, the whole spectrum, on a multidimensional, cosmic and universal level. It can hold all of that because nature is universal. This is universal nature. Nature's everywhere in the universe. The universe is nature. Certainly is to me. Okay, so but we're talking about empire, change of management with empire. And so we've had I don't know exactly for how long, but it has been hundreds and into thousands of years. We have had a very dominating, very oppressive and very dark empire, agenda, controlling empire at humanity all of this time. We see it and we recognise it as all these terms of the cabal. The cabal, which is mafia, cosmic mafia, planetary and interplanetary mafia, cabal, the deep state, the third, fourth, fifth, sixth Reich. All of these things are labels and names for what I'm going to call Dark Empire. I'm just going to call that Dark Empire. A Dark Empire has been the managing, controlling force in and on this world, in our world here, all this time, and we are in the process of coming out of that version of control. It is a paradigm of control, oppression, subjugation, and horribleness, as we've all experienced. Okay? Wow, yeah. Okay, and so I'm calling this Dark Empire. Now, the change of management in empire, the change of management in empires in relationship, in co-creation with nature, nature's holding everything together. But just talking about, I guess both. How can you talk from empire? You can talk from empire when you can feel the energy inside of you and you're able to communicate. You're able to know things because you recognize the energy. Can go into this another time, but basically I can recognize Dark Empire in the world outside of me, all the goings on of all those things I mentioned, because I have recognized it inside of myself. I've recognized the energy structure, the energy frequencies of Dark Empire, of subjugation, oppression, control, all these energies. I have recognized what they feel like and what they are inside of me, which then allowed me to recognize them outside of myself. This is why I'm able to talk the way I am just now, is because I've got to a place in my own being where I'm not allowing myself to be subjugated and controlled to a point where my nature is becoming more present and more stronger, to be able to share my experiences. Hope that makes sense. But anyway, so Dark Empire, change of management. The change of management of empire is Dark Empire. I'm going to call this one Light Empire. I'm going to explain Light Empire. Okay, Dark Empire, Cabal, Deep State. Light Empire. Okay, so Light Empire, to me, what I experience as Light Empire are things like, you hear terms like the White Hats, the Alliance, different factions of the Federation or federations, different command centres that are in our solar system, in our cosmos, directly involved with here. This is what I'm calling light empire. Wow, and I'm feeling that now as well. I'm feeling I'm feeling the energy of what I'm sharing. I'm not just talking intellectually. I'm talking from my own direct experience. So it might be quite basic language or basic concepts I'm using. I'm not going into loads and loads of details because it's about the energy and it's about the primary information of it. So it'll probably come across as quite simplified, and that's because of where I'm coming from. Okay, so yeah, light empire, dark empire, change of management. We're changing management from dark empire into light empire at the moment. Okay, it's playing out in our world as a battle between dark and light, light and dark. It's playing out as a battle. So you have, for anybody that's like awake and aware to, say, the truth movement and things like this, you have the white hats taking out the dark hats. You have so world leaders like Donald Trump, for example, the Q movement, things like that, taking out the cabal. Okay? For me, that is light empire interacting with dark empire. And they're both empire. This is the bit that is unsettling, disturbing, and can be hard to integrate, because try not to ramble too much, just trying to get this across as best I can. But so explain it like this. So dark empire is an empire of problems. Dark empire is an empire of problems. It manifests and brings problems. Out of all its control and subjugation, it creates health problems, financial problems, economic, ecological problems, physiological, mental, spiritual problems. It creates all of these problems and more, to the point that we're in the condition that we are in the world as a collective, which is, we are a diminished peoples. Collectively, we're a diminished people, and there's been all this domination for hundreds and thousands of years, and basically, folk are, we've been hammered. We have been hammered by this controlling dark force for a very long time, and pretty exhausted. Wow. Part of my being, feel totally exhausted with the experience of that, experience of all this. So, dark empire is an empire of problems. Light empire is an empire of solutions. Dark, problems, light, solutions. Okay? Light empire is coming with the solutions for dark empire's problems. Dark empire has been in charge as empire for all of this time, creating all of these problems. Light empire is coming into the mainstream with all the solutions. Now the solutions are the rollout of, some of the solutions are, but the rollout of new infrastructure on a planetary level. And what that involves is new technologies, new knowledge, new wisdom. Try and give a few examples. So Light Empire is coming with, now I don't know the details of this, again I just know the basic fundamentals, but Light Empire is coming with holographic technology, holographic medical technology. In the world, they get named and labelled as med beds. They are holographic medical beds. The holographic medical bed, or the med bed, what it does is, again I don't know the details, but to my awareness, my basic awareness, is it captures a holographic blueprint of your being, and at a particular point in time it captures an imprint of your being, holographic imprint of your being, say at an optimal state of health. So it might capture, say, a 25-year-old version of you when you were in optimal health, if you were in optimal health at 25, but it captures a blueprint, your very own holographic blueprint of a certain time, say when you're in optimal health, and then that medbed can, by you co-creating with it and working with the technology, and so laying on the bed and consenting and allowing the work to happen, just like you would if you went to a hospital and consented to a doctor to do some surgery, or similar, except it's a technology that is being utilised. It's a medical technology, holographic technology, and what it can do is it can reconstruct and transform your body, and repair and restore your being back to a different, like your holographic blueprint that it is, that it has access to, or what you've agreed to happen. So you could restore your health back to, say, when you're 25, which sounds amazing, doesn't it? Sounds awesome. It's like, yeah, sounds great. But there's lots of variables to that. For example, the main thing to consider is, would an experience like that be beneficial for your own soul's evolution? Is it appropriate for you to heal yourself or transform yourself back to a 25-year-old version of yourself? Is that appropriate for your soul's journey and evolution? Or is that a small part of you, smaller part, thinking that's a good idea because you want to feel better about something, you want to change something, but you're not willing to do the internal alchemy to naturally have that outcome? You're seeking to co-create with the technology to do it quicker for you, with you. Is that appropriate for your soul's journey? If it is appropriate for your soul's journey and your own evolution, then that's great. But if it's just you trying to shortcut to get something without doing the work, these are things you have to consider. So that's one technology as a solution, right? A solution, so a holographic medical bed, a solution to health crisis, health problems, health issues, which are multi-generational health problems. In the past, within the past 5 years, we've had a global pandemic thing where something like 2/3 of the population experienced the experimental injections. That thing Anybody who's awake and aware knows that that is full of problems, full of health problems. Like a lot of health issues have arisen because of that, right? And holographic medbed as a solution could potentially be a good solution to help these kind of health problems. Problems, solutions.